Hey guys, good evening. It is Friday night, TGIF, right? September 15th, and this will be my night video. Just did my midday not too long ago, so there's not a whole lot going on, but wanted to share a couple things with you, and I do want to give a shout out and some attention to somebody I think that struck me and deserves it. So a few things, give you an update of me, where I'm at, where I'm going. Sunday, the fellas are flying in to Oklahoma City. They have the documentary filmmakers. They have a job up in Tulsa. They're flying in. They're going to meet with me on Sunday. Tomorrow, I'm committed to a town called Calumet, which is about 44 miles from here, which is too much for one day. And I thought I had a plan in place to kind of get close enough to be able to make it, but that's kind of fallen through. So tonight, a good portion of my night's going to be trying to figure out how to make that work, and it will. Something always finds a way to work itself out. I've got some business things to take advantage of the computer at the hotel as well. But it's funny, I got my new shoes today, and thank you guys for that. One of the things you kind of take for granted when you drive is how easy it is to get to places. So tonight, I eat at McDonald's way too much, but these 2 for $5 deals between God, do I love those, what are they, fish fillet sandwiches, a fillet of fish sandwiches. So I got my McDonald's bag right here. The McDonald's is right over there, but I didn't know where it was, or I thought I knew where it was, and I missed a turn. And I'm going to show you a little field over here. So there's a little field over there which looks innocuous enough. So I came across that way. Instead of walking back to the street, of course I was going to be slicking and cut across that field. Well, that field is basically a giant swamp. So the shoes I'm wearing kind of almost got sucked into the muck and the mire there. Anyway, but they stayed on, and now they're just a little bit dirty. And the reason these are my old shoes, just so you know, these will be my old ones. But I think Danae had asked me, what am I doing with my old shoes? And I left a pair behind in case somebody wants them at the hotel, in case this ever blows up into something worthwhile and someone says, hey, you walked through our hotel or came to our hotel. So I got this pair. I had no real plans for them other than just pack them in my bag in case my other ones get wet or something, or if I find somebody that wants them, I'll be more than happy to share them. But now my point is that they're just dirty and kind of disgusting right now. So that's a little bit about what I'll be doing tonight, getting ready for tomorrow. Guess tonight's Friday night, so 48 hours from now, I'll really have my mind wrapped around hitting and running. You know, getting up sunrise. I'm going to basically start on Monday morning, sunrise to sunset, walk as far as I can. Where I end is where I end. You know, if I can get 38 miles in, or 32 miles, or 26 miles, whatever it is, that's where I'm going to go. But I'm going to have a drop dead date. Not a drop dead. That's the wrong terminology. Bad, Jim. I'm going to have a finish date that I'm going to be putting out there and counting down to the finish. I might like to, I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm a big listener of a couple radio shows when I can. One of them is the Ben Maller show. So he does overnights on the East Coast. But I think he does a night show. So if it's 2 to 6 a.m. East Coast, it'd probably be 11 to 3 a.m. out here. So he's out in Southern California. I'm going to ask him to find out where the studio is. And maybe I'll get to go in and stop in the studio and see the guys that, you know, spent so much time, I spent so much time listening to him my day. And then from there, I can get some breakfast and maybe walk out to the Santa Monica Pier in the morning from their studio. If they'd allow it, I don't know. It's just something I'm going to try to speak to Ben about. He's been, he emailed me a couple times. I shouldn't say we speak a lot, but that might be kind of a cool finish to the whole thing. He has this group called the Maller Militia, which is a bunch of, you know, overnight radio crazies that call in, and you know, so it's just a good group of folks. And I hope you guys are podcasting them when you can. Like I said, on Fridays he has his lame jokes of the week, so we had them this morning. I didn't get a chance to listen to them. But there is something I want to call out that I think is worthy. And sometimes we take things for granted, little things. Today, all over the news was the fact that we got our president's team in criminal dealings and testimony and everything else, and you know, it seems like every president there's always somebody doing some kind of wrongdoing. So I'm not really pointing the finger, just kind of get numb to it. But it's funny how how much each group points the finger at the other until it's their group. Then all of a sudden you don't hear so much about it, right? So just one of those further hypocritical things in this world. But on that note, I want to give a shout out to, I really enjoy, I don't get to read it often, certainly not while I'm out here, but the USA Today. And there was a column, if you can look it up, it's September 14th's column. There's a writer, I believe he writes for the Washington Post, but I don't know if he writes specifically and he writes jointly different columns or whatever. There was a column in yesterday, September 14th, USA Today, that I thought was brilliant. And I rarely reach out to people like with a Twitter or something like that. I don't even have Twitter, but I felt compelled. This writer's name, I believe I'm saying it properly, is Ruben Navarrete Jr. And I welcome you to go read his article on the 14th that was in the USA Today. And I'll tell you why I do that. I applaud and admire anybody who has an opinion, backs it up, but respects your opinion. So essentially, his article was along the lines of, hey, I'm not a Trump fan, but Trump's done 20 good things. Or, you know, here's a list of 20 good things that he has done. And he went on to list these things one by one, which he feels are 20 good things that the president has done. And he makes it very clear that he's not a fan of the president, so he's not trying to say, you know, hey, look at him, he's perfect, what a great president. What he's saying is, you know, everything is not as doom and gloom as some folks make it, and everything is not as positive and rosy as other folks make it. But where I admire him is that he simply said, look, I don't like this guy, but I have to give you know, credit where credit's due. Now, frankly, I didn't agree with all 20 of those things, not even a good many of them. But that's my personal opinion. But that's the point of why I want to recognize what he did. As I said to him in my tweet, it wasn't the content of his 20 bullet points that I thought was worthy of calling out. His final paragraph was something along the lines of, look, these are 20 things that I find to be positives. You may find 2 negatives for every one of these. You may find 3 positive, you know, essentially basically saying, look guys, I'm just one man. These are my opinions. Here's what I think. Thanks for reading. If you agree, awesome. If you don't agree, hey, that's okay. And that's kind of the point I want to try to make with this and what I've been trying to do kind of along my journey. You know, if you speak civilly, if you don't get caught up in, I'm Republican, so everything liberals say is bad. If you don't get caught up with, I'm liberal, so everything Trump ever breathes out of his mouth is awful. If you kind of take things at face value and acknowledge them by your own merits, it's okay. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay for somebody to have an opinion that differs from you. And I thought that was so beautiful. So many times I read the newspaper, and whoever the particular writer is pushing their point of view and their agenda. Maybe not even agenda, but just their point of view. And you know, they have the power. They've got the pen, and that's what they're paid for. But this particular gentleman said, look, hey, I'm not a fan, but I'm also not going to pretend that there hasn't been anything positive that came out of it. In my eyes, these are 20 positive things that have come out of his presidency. At the same time, at the end of his article, if you agree with me, look, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. You might be right. This is just the way I'm seeing things. And I admired it because we don't have a lot of that in this world. We don't have a lot of civil, it's my opinion and you're entitled to yours. We've got a lot of people that have an opinion, and the minute that someone expresses something different, they feel the need to defend their opinion and talk yours down. Or they feel the need to not see that there could be another point of view. I was watching something on TV today, in fact it was a Dr. Phil episode, and essentially it was this woman that tried to kill her husband, or ex-husband, because she's insisting that he molested her daughter. It's been through every different child protection service, it's been through every medical exam, and there's been nothing whatsoever to substantiate that this child was ever abused or molested in any way. And yet, despite all of that mounting proof, not even evidence, but all of that undeniable proof, this woman couldn't even acknowledge for a moment that she could be wrong. She was right, and in her mind she was 100% right, and there was no alternative, and there's nobody else that saw it that way except her. And I think there's a lot of that in our world these days. I think that too many people and too often see things only one way, and not just see it one way, but insist that that's the right way. You know, it's like religion. We have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of religions that all differ either slightly or greatly, but yet every person, not every person, many religious people, because they're so faith-based, so devout, can not acknowledge somebody else's belief, maybe. And it's kind of sad. So Ruben Navarrete, if I'm saying it properly, Jr., I applaud you for your article. I'll ask you guys to go check it out. I don't know anything more about him. I don't know what any other articles he's written or done. I don't know what his taste or flavor is. I just know that article struck me as something that should be applauded and recognized because it's just the way, the simplicity in which it was written. So thank you for that. Spoke to my kids already. I'm going to speak to them again. It's a beautiful Friday night here in Oklahoma City. If you can see the skyline behind me and that beautiful sky up there. It just is what it is, man. It's nice. Tomorrow I'm going to be heading out, and again, not quite sure how I'm going to make this happen, but I assure you I will. I can definitely tell you that somehow, some way, the good Lord's taking care of me in this trip. I've been safe. I've been happy. I've been down, but I've always been taken care of. So, and a lot of that comes from the love you guys show me every day, and I thank you all for that. I appreciate it. You know, be a little bit more willing to be tolerant of someone else may have a different point of view and a different perspective. Certainly believe in yours as devoutly as you'd like, but keep in mind that, you know, somebody else may believe just as devoutly, and you both can't be right. Tomorrow here in Oklahoma is going to be fun for me watching. I love sports. I won't be watching a game, but I'm sure in the hotel is going to be scurrying. There's a ton of Boise State Cowboy fans in the hotel, and they're getting ready for the game in Oklahoma State, so I'm going to be curious to be watching that on my phone as I walk. It's just a good night, guys. I'm really, honestly, as scary as it might be, I am really looking forward to Monday morning. I'm looking forward to testing myself physically, looking forward to testing myself mentally. I'm looking forward to getting done sooner than I had planned. I'm really looking forward to getting home to my kids and my family and my dog, and hopefully saving my house. Just looking forward to a lot, and you guys have been there to carry me through with it. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this. This is very cool. So Susan went to a Phil Vassar concert the other night, gave him a Journey shirt. I don't know if you saw this, but Phil liked one of the comments that was on there, so I guess he must have checked out the website. So that's very cool to me. Anyway, and I'll even say this confession. Susan probably knows it. I only spoke to her for about 5 minutes, but she was telling me how it went when she was talking to Phil. And she said he was actually, you know, asking about me. And the way she said was like, "Can you believe that your guy was asking about you?" I don't know why I'm such a damn sap, but I actually got kind of choked up, and I was silent I was smiling ear to ear, and rarely do I get speechless, and I was kind of speechless about that. So Jamie got me and the kids tickets to Phil in December in Reading, PA. In fact, it's the first show I ever saw him at was in Reading, PA. Carolyn Dawn Johnson opened up for him. It was the first time I ever saw him. Now, granted, that was 16 years ago, so both he and I were a bit younger. But man, did he bring it and kill it, and he's never stopped. And so looking forward to that as well. So thank you for that, for getting those tickets, Jamie. And I can't wait to see my kids and getting back before the holidays, getting life together, getting the book done, getting something else I want to talk to the documentary guys about done, share as much with you all as I can. And that's about it, guys. So I know today has been the most exciting thing in terms of videos. I tried to talk about a few topics. Hair in my mouth there. You know, that just nothing groundbreaking, but just sharing some kind of point the thumb kind of philosophy. Own it, you know, be tolerant, point the thumb and say, you know, are they entitled to their opinion the way I'm entitled to mine? Don't start pointing a finger and telling somebody they're wrong or they're out of line or anything like that. So I'm off, go watch some movies, go check some things out, get some sleep, and hit the ground running as my mind, as it always does, races 120 miles an hour, trying to figure out the next couple of days here. So love you guys. Thank you all for following. Appreciate you, and have a great night. Happy Friday.